Hello, good evening, and good welcome to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern episode 148. I'm Jamie, and this week I've got Scottish Gruff Ross with me. Come on in, Mr. Scottish Gruff Ross. How are you? You're on mute. I can't hear you, but welcome back. Hello. Did you enjoy your big sweaty men run around chasing balls last week?
I didn't. See, I've not even got my talking voice on through. I did very much enjoy the big sweaty men running around chasing balls last week. Yes.
Happy days. And did your team of choice or out of the two win?
No.
Well,
useless. Fucking useless.
Clearly not a Swiftie then. So outrageous.
Fuck the Swifties.
I mean, we could sit here and talk, NFL all night. You know, I'm a big fan, but let's get cracking. We've got plenty of Xbox related stuff to talk about. But it's not just me and Scottish Gruff. We've got no MPV Graham, or we've got no Millie Man Ian either. They're away with their families this weekend.
Then who do we have?
Filling in the best way he can, because he is the legend, the myth, the I've another big word of grandeur. Special guest Pete, he's back.
Hello! Oh, I am very much looking forward to this threesome tonight. How are you?
Can it be a threesome?
Exactly, especially on a Sunday evening, 8 p.m.
Ish!
Nice, threesome. I appreciate that one. Yes, we've obviously got a lot to talk about in relation to Xbox's business update and various games and bits and pieces. But gentlemen, I realised I said before we started that I'd already underguessed a game and I failed tremendously. But would you two like to have a crack?
I mean, can't say I'm going to be much use, but
there's no harm in looking, is there? I suppose.
Let's have a quick look, shall we? So, Guess.game. If you're not familiar, it's a website like Wordle where you choose try and guess the game via 6 pictures with little clues here and there.
Without throwing you under the bus, James, this game looks older than I am. Am I correct?
I would believe you are correct. Yes.
Did I Fantastic.
Really I really don't.
So is it like an Atari game? Is it or something?
You're not getting any hints from me other than that one.
Right. So it's older than me. So that kind of rules me out of this.
I mean, is it like Space Invaders?
You have the internet. I believe in you.
Yeah. No. Right. So I think we're not getting anything on that one, Pete.
Should we just skip it?
Yeah. No.
Right. Let me load up my phone while you guys look at this one.
93 raid on Metacritic.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, I think I might have misled you when I said it was older than you. I forgot which game it was. Yeah. No, it's not older than you.
I was going to say Metacritic.
You got plenty of time.
So it's not like a NES Zelda game then.
No, it would have to be later because Metacritic's not been around that long, has it?
No.
Yeah, as Special Guest Pete pointed out before we started, I did fail this. However, I at least had heard of it once I saw what the game was. So hopefully you should.
Any guesses, Pete?
Should be in with the chance between you.
What's a rip-off of Mario? Because that looks like Mario Lava.
It does look like Mario Lava, yeah.
No idea. Oh, what the fuck? That's just original platform PC.
I have not got
Lemmings.
I would hope I would have got Lemmings.
I feel like I would have got.
Yeah, no.
As babyface as I am, Lemmings was still in my generation.
Is that pickaxes at the top?
Yeah.
Certainly, it looks that way, doesn't it?
I mean, judging by the faces, it's got to be like you're controlling multiple.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a population type thing.
Kind of like RTS, kind of. No idea.
No, what the fuck is that a clue?
Is it the Matrix?
Yeah, again, I'm sure if you played the game, this will help you tremendously. But when this come up, I was like, that is just complete left turn. I have no idea. Obviously, if you're just listening, it's just a weird fucking Matrix glitch type image.
I have not a clue.
2006.
And we've got a bit of a...
got a picture of a rugged man. Could be like a dwarf or a gnome. Any games they've got dwarves in them?
Lord of the Rings.
That is true.
What are having a guess? I do enjoy this. There's 645 games now. Go and check it out. Guess.game. It's tremendous.
They're not all as shit as this one.
One of my favourite things to do every day. Except for when I'm supposed to leave it for Sunday and I forget and do it anyway.
Yeah, dumbass.
No idea.
Not that I would have any helped you today at all anyway.
And that just made it even less helpful. I mean, I guess you'll see it in action, but...
B12 games. So it's like a dwarf living simulator?
Dwarf simulator. Dwarf living simulator. Type dwarf into the thing and see what we get. I can't see the answers.
Dwarf Fortress.
That sounds fun.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Very well done.
Yes!
Pulled out right at the end there. Have either of you actually heard of dwarf?
Holy fuck. I seen dwarfs, we seen a fortress, it's fucking win.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Clutch for the fucking win.
You pulled that one out.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I completely skipped over the dwarf in the picture. What was it, picture 3 or whatever, when you started saying about that? Didn't even spot that. And I got to the end.
We had no idea what it was. You've got to pay attention to the little details, you know.
Yeah.
Devil's in the details, James. Devil's in the details.
Indeed. And at 3 minutes past midnight on a Saturday night, it's probably not the best time to be looking for the details.
He's stumbling to the toilet to go for his late old man pee.
Old man pee time. But yes, well done, gentlemen. Dwarf Fortress. Like I said, go check out Guess.game. Tremendous fun. What a great way. And well done. You started this.
Have you played Dwarf Fortress then, Jamie?
No, never heard of it.
No.
Well, no, sorry. No, I have heard the name, but I wouldn't have been able to pick it out of a lineup for.
So it's not on Game Pass, so you wouldn't recommend to anyone?
No. Although, like you said, it got 93%, so it must be pretty damn good. Just not for us, or not for me anyway. Anyway, well done, gentlemen. You put me to shame. I'll try and remember not to do it next week. But no promises. You can join us on the Discord where I play every day anyway. Everyone seems to have chickened out because
everyone's slapped off now, aren't they?
So yeah, come join us on Discord.
I got Geometry Dash though. Geometry Dash.
You did another one.
I know I got it because George plays it. I just on the second picture I was like, is that the square from Geometry Dash that George keeps shoving in my face? And I was like, yeah, it is.
See? Keeping the knowledge far and wide. Well done. Right, let's move on to some bits and pieces. Ross, you weren't here last week where we talked about our Project Game Pass game for the month, and nor were you, obviously, special guest Pete. So let me just give the spiel, and then I want to hear your takes on Power World. So Project Game Pass is where we pick a game from Game Pass each and every month. The first Sunday of every month, instead of the podcast, we'll stream ourselves playing it live. They're always going to be multiplayer games, so it'll be a group of 4 or more of us playing it. And yeah, this last month was Turbo Golf Racing. This month is Power World. Obviously, it had to be Power World. It couldn't really be anything else. Last week, myself, Ian, and Graham discussed our thoughts and opinions on it. But now we played a bit with Ross. I don't think we played with you, special guest Pete, yet, but I know you have been playing it a little bit. So let's start with you, and then we'll get to Ross. What's your thoughts and opinions on Power World so far?
So my main thought is people who think Power World is better than Pokemon are delusional. They've never played Sword and Shield, and they've never played Scarlet and Violet. It's definitely Pokemon-ish.
Ish.
Ah, you go. But I haven't played it for that much. I just got put off straight away when I was doing a tutorial. I was finding out how to do things, and all of a sudden it said, "You're cold," and I was like, "Oh, not a bloody survival game." And that honestly just turned me off straight away. And I was like, I cannot be bothered to search or build a coat. I was like, I don't think I can. It's one of the reasons why I don't play games like the Breath of the Wild Zelda, because that kind of mechanics don't interest me. If it didn't have that, I may have delved in further, but you know, it wasn't for me. And graphically, it's not. Again, I know you don't like to talk about Pokemon, but like graphically, it's not better than Pokemon at all. I don't understand why people are saying it. I mean, it's like a 4 gig game, is it? So it's not even that big of a file. So the graphics can't even be that good technically. Obviously, it's an indie game, and I know they've done their best. And obviously, they're kind of on the socials, obviously asking for developers to come in and help their teams. Obviously, the game's bigger, and obviously, I'm in the minority when it comes to not particularly enjoying it. But it's definitely got a place in the world for people that don't like Pokemon or want a Pokemon type-ish game on the Xbox. But yeah, it's something that's not for me. I need to give it another fair crack, but I've been busy with other games. But yeah, it's like, it'd get like a meh out of 10 so far for me. But I want to give it another try to give it a fair crack.
So how far have you got in terms of building your base or doing any of the crafting?
I played for about an hour and a half, so not long at all, to be honest. And I just got kind of put off straight away when my character got cold, and I was like, I'm trying to, because the tutorial kind of went really hard, not hard, really fast, but like it was like, okay, there's no warning of, I don't know if it's just me, but when I threw the ball at the POW, it missed, and then it just disappeared like into the wall, and I couldn't retrieve it. And I'm like, I've just wasted that whole resource because it missed. And now I've got to spend another 10 minutes finding resources to build another ball. And then once you've done that, it's like, right, capture 10. And it's like, really? This is like, I can maybe understand like 3 or 5, but I was like, 10? I was like, no, that's too much for like a beginner thing. Like, do you know how long that would take to just grind the resources to get 10 balls? It just.
And did you fiddle around with the settings or anything?
I didn't. I just went in. I went in
and...
vanilla, to give it a go. I didn't even see the sliders. I think Ian was talking about, to be honest. So I just went in vanilla. A bit disappointing, but like I said, I need to give it another fair crack.
Yeah, well, we're definitely gonna play again at some point. I know, obviously, it's only a group of 4 we can play, but I'm sure one of us won't be around, or I don't mind sitting out because I'm not my cup of tea either.
Yeah,
but
obviously, Ian kind of guided you guys through, didn't he? So
I mean, Ian set us up like a fucking trooper, because we joined in, and basically myself and Ross, and to an extent Graham, although he'd played quite a bit as well. We were basically. We skipped like you were saying, all the grindy tutorial stuff and just went straight into the meat of the action. Yeah. And that was what was far more enjoyable for me, because if I'd had to start again, which I did try starting on my own, I just like you, it's just not my sort of cup of tea. Although, did you enjoy Craftopia? Did you play that at all? Because that was their previous game, which was on Game Pass and Game Preview as well. And I actually quite got into that for a little while, but I probably put, let's say, 10 hours into it with my kids and with Graham, like doing various worlds and sort of progressing quite far. But for whatever reason, that hooked me a little bit at least, whereas this just, it's not for me at the moment.
Yeah.
Not having to do all the
grind. You would have struggled like me had you not been in the group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, definitely, massively. But yeah, look, obviously, like I said, Ian did set us up, and Ross, I think you enjoyed it far more than myself.
I'm right.
So tell us thoughts and opinions, where you're at. Have you played any more on your own? Have you got any further, etc., etc.?
I'm not putting any more on. I do feel like it is more of a group type game.
That's just because you want to go into the caves and crash it for everybody, innit?
Yeah. No, I can see how it'd be enjoyable playing it just by yourself. Obviously, I think your opinion of the game was a wee bit skewed, simply for the fact that, as you were saying, Ian set us up, so we didn't have any of the grindy stuff to really do. We had like the balls to just go out and hunt stuff. We had the weapons, the stuff to be able to build the weapons, and we were leveling up like rapid style because of all of that. So I feel like that sort of skews it a wee bit, but the actual mechanics of it, like I like the Pokemon Arceus type feel of the game, where everything's open and like the pals are just sort of floating in the wild, and you can just go and catch them without having to like encounter them and things like that. It's from what the small bit that I played, obviously we were focusing mainly on just sort of dicking around, but I would like to see what it had in regards to story or sort of progression type idea. I know there's like bosses. I know there's Ian was saying about the vendor type idea that you can do stuff with the vendors and bring them into like your home base and stuff like that. So stuff like that, would like to like see how that develops. But if playing it in a group, it was certainly definitely enjoyable. I had fun playing it.
Yeah, all right, nice. So yeah, I mean, we definitely need to get together and play again. We've got to join Ian's world, if I'm not mistaken. We can't just play without him. He's the only one who has to be there, right?
Yeah, he has to. If we want to be in his world, yeah. If we wanted to start up our own one, then we could do it at any time. But yeah,
So
If
can
we
you,
want
you not take your current character that you built and put it into your own world now, or just restart?
No, see, I thought you could. I thought you could. Like your character was just there, but apparently that character is locked to Ian's game.
Yeah,
Right, got ya.
Fresh, we've got to go back in and join him and carry on rather than taking what, like you said, what we've earned and what we've learned and starting our own world or starting a new world or what have you. Yeah, we'll play some more, like I said, at some point, maybe this week or next week. And yeah, we'll stream it on YouTube, Tavern Official, and wherever else we stream our Power World experiences. And yeah, anyone else got anything they want to add to it before we move on to some other games we've been playing this week?
Definitely a good game. Recommend everybody gives it at least. Give it a go at least.
Yeah. Fair play for the developers for calling out the BS when obviously I like to defend games where I can, even though I'm not a fan of it. Like obviously everyone was trying to. Obviously, when you have a game launch, obviously with the next few weeks after that, obviously the player base declines, and everyone was attacking the game over that. And fair play for developers that come out and said, "Don't you talk your BS to me?" And I was like, "Fair play, guys!" Like, I was like, you get those trolls,
Yeah, they do seem to be handling a lot of that side of stuff quite well in terms of, like you said, not taking shit, but also keeping people in the loop, saying, "Look, we're struggling here. We didn't expect anywhere near this level of success. We're trying to get servers up and running and get extra supporting from Xbox and Epic and all that." And they're being quite open and honest, even if that sometimes can come back and bite you in the ass. But as we'll probably discuss later on. But yeah, that's Power World. That's our Project Game Plus game for February 2024. We'll play some more and we'll discuss more next week. Right. Let's talk about some more video games we've been playing, shall we? And I want to hear about a game from Mr. Scottish Gruff, which, in the spirit of the episode about the news round this week, is unfortunately not on Xbox yet. But tell me about Helldivers 2, please.
Fucking incredible. Oh my god, it's so much fucking fun. It is just shit show after shit show. And you can't beat it.
So I know we had a quick discussion before we started, but I don't really know much about it other than the fact it's an online shooter. So is it co-op only, right? 4v4 players?
No. So you can drop in by yourself. You don't have to.
It's PvE.
It's PvE, sorry.
That's what I meant. Sorry, not PvP.
No. Apparently they said there will never be a PvP mode in the game either. It's solely PvE. So that's quite nice to hear. It's just outstanding. Just like, so I'm presuming we're all of an age that we've watched Starship Troopers. And that's basically like one half of the map. So the galactic map is sort of split up into two quadrants. So you've got the automatons on one side and the Tyranids or whatever they're called on this side. And you're basically dropping down. It's not just drop in, kill bugs, get back out again. There's various different measures. There's like rescue missions. There's data collection. There's surveying to do. All while having enemies running around. There is some missions where it is drop into the bug nest and destroy the bug nest, for example, which is pandemonium. It feels really nice to play as well. Like, I know that sounds like stupid for the fact of how simplistic a type of game it is, but like the guns feel really good to use. Like, so you start off with a pistol and a machine gun, or an assault rifle, sorry, because that'll get confusing later on. And one of the perks you can unlock is a machine gun, where it's the big LMG fucking bullets hanging out the side of the gun type idea. But see, when you're using that, it feels like, it's gonna sound stupid, it feels heavy. Like, it feels like you've got proper beef behind it when you're firing it. Just everything about it feels really switched on.
Are you making use of the dual sense features though for that? Is that the haptic triggers and the
probably that's what it is. But then even things like when you call in like an airstrike, just the visual side of it, or how visceral it is in regards to like its complete sort of disembowelment of enemies and your teammates if they're stupid enough to run into the crossfire, because there's friendly fire in the game as well. So it's like
up then.
it's sheer pandemonium, and you also know you can get a flamethrower as well, Joe. And you can also, not only do you get a flamethrower, you can actually call in napalm strikes as well. So that's fucking even more fire for you.
You convinced me. Let me get on my PlayStation.
I guess the magic, has it got the Molotov cocktail for the magic trio?
I mean, it probably will have. Yeah, I've not unlocked it yet, but there'll be incendiary grenades. I can guarantee it.
Nice.
So that's one side of it, and then on the flip side, you've got like the automatons, which are basically Terminators type idea. They're like the various different enemies. You've got like Terminators, you've got AT-ATs out of Star Wars. You've got like big. Trying to think of the film. We've already had this contentious point. Gee, you've never seen Demolition Man, have you?
Is that the one with the rubber shark?
The what?
No, I didn't know. If it's not named Jaws, then probably not.
No. So it's basically Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. No, that's not. I'm getting mixed up. Judge Dredd. Sorry, it's the original Judge Dredd. The big tank thing that's in that's in it as well. So I think it's called the Hulk. So there's various different types of automatons that you have to fight as well, and it's literally like the visions that you see in like the Terminator films, like the robots have taken over the planet, and you're like this small little band of fighters trying to like push them back. But it's the way that they've done it in regards to like the obviously community driven type idea. But like if you jump on like TikTok is one of the big things that I've seen pushing it the most, and it's like the sort of we need you type promotions that are going on TikTok just now, like saying that there's 85,000 brave men and women fighting back the automaton threat on this planet, but we need more soldiers. We need every man possible. Every man, woman and child needs to come and join the front to push back these mechanical scum.
So can you get like 100 people fighting the same bot then?
So you're not. So no. So in the game, there's only ever like the 4 people type idea, but the actual planet has all these people fighting on it, for example, but you only ever really see your squad. But it's like so there's a liberated bar type idea. So it's you've got to try and liberate the planets, and then if you're part of the effort to get it liberated, you get big rewards because you've helped liberate the planet. But it's constantly like ramping up. So at one point, the Tyranids was the first part where everybody started fighting, and we like the players liberated 4 or 5 planets, and then because people were focusing on that, the automaton sector grew towards Earth, or Super Earth, sorry. And then basically if you let them get too close to Earth, they can start then invading Earth, and you have to then fight them back. So it's a massive big galaxy map type idea that you can fight on different areas, but the north and south of the map are still empty because they've already sort of announced that there's going to be loads of new type of enemies to face, different type of missions, but all of this is getting added in free of charge. There's no cost to these. The only microtransactions are cosmetic as well. So if you want to sort of buy super credits, what they're called, you can buy them. But apart from that, they don't give you any, like, not even like, well, sorry, I think they give you boosters, to be fair. But that's about the only pay to win type aspect. But because it's PvE, then there's no real harm in it.
Yeah,
it just makes your character look cooler.
Sounds like they're really relying on the live service model then, and for the game to continue in popularity.
Yeah, as long as they keep,
just going to get overwhelmed by all these enemies.
Yeah, I think as long as they keep like adding stuff in and making it as enjoyable as it has been, because like it's only just launched, and I don't think they were expecting the success as what it's had. So you'll try and load the game up, and it will at the very start of the game come up saying servers are busy at the moment, please wait. Because there's that many people trying to play it. I mean, I think at one point in time it's like smashed the concurrent record, on some of the games. It's like it's mental how many folk have been trying to jump in and play it, and the developers are like, look, we're again very similar to Palworld. Like, look, we never expected this.
Yeah.
This has taken us way off like what we expected, but we are working on it, and we will get it to the point where everybody will be able to jump in. But from people that have played Helldivers 1, apparently there's like loads of stuff that they could add to it to make it really fully fleshed out. So, I mean, fair play to them. I think the best thing they could do, and again, maybe I'm being selfish by saying it, but I mean, if they open it up to Xbox, then wow.
Well,
It's on PC, right? So you can
It's,
always
it's on PC, yeah.
yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll get into the old multi-platform stuff later on, but do you think it would? I mean, it could only benefit surely by being on more places because, like you said, it comes PC
100%.
day one, which is their first PC and PlayStation 5 game day one, like launch day and date type thing. And obviously, as you said, they've been completely overwhelmed, but they're working on it. So
I mean,
why not?
100% that it'll do it'll fly out like if they put it on Xbox.
Yeah. Is it on Steam or is it on Epic Games or
Steam? I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it sounds a lot of fun. I would like to give it a go, but it's also a purchase game, right? It's 30 quid,
Yeah, so it's not free to play.
Which,
in fairness, I think if they'd have done it free to play, the game would have fucking crashed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they would have been able to keep up with that.
And there would have been more monetization.
yeah. But it does also mean, obviously, because it's a paid game, you have to pay the PS Plus as well to play it online.
Yeah.
Which is another hurdle for myself. But
There is cross-platform, so if like you did try and do like the PC side aspect, you can at least do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to give it a go. Maybe I'll see if they do like a free weekend or something at some point and give it a go. Or if it does come to Xbox, I don't mind picking it up.
If it comes to Xbox, then I don't think it'll come to Game Pass as such. But if it comes to Xbox, then we definitely need to jump in and play it.
Oh yes, can you see? Imagine just a few weeks ago having that even sentence uttered out of your mouth would have been never gonna happen, and now we're in a brave new world, which we'll get to later on.
Dare to dream.
Yeah, will it into existence. Nice. Well, that sounds very exciting. So definitely want to give it a go at some point. But let's get back to the home console of choice, the big green and black box, and let's talk to Special Guest Pete about a certain video game he reviewed this week, if he's ready.
I just hear like I feel like I can hear like a phone going off or something.
It's all those angry Xbox fans going, "Don't you dare talk about PlayStation on an Xbox." You've been playing a game for review this week called. I'm not even going to attempt to say it. Do you want to tell me what the name of the game is?
It's Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunters.
Nice.
Yes, a very long-winded one, as is tradition with the Warhammer series.
Warhammer.
Yeah. So this time, so obviously last year, I reviewed the kind of Realms of. Oh my god, it's another long name one, isn't it? It was one game of the year. Yeah. It's like Age of Sigma, Realms of Ruin. That's the one. Yeah. And it was an RTS type game, and if not for Cyberpunk, it would have been, number one. It was very good. Did you ever try that one, Ross? In the end? No, okay, that's fine. We'll move on. But yeah, so this one is now in the genre type of the kind of like turn-based tactics. So the XCOM style. It is very, very XCOM-y in the way it's laid out and the maps and how you approach enemies. I feel like this is kind of a genre that every franchise could do. Like it's the genre that got me playing Gears. Like Gears Tactics the story was a bit crap, but like the game.
Besmirch. Awesome. I wouldn't have this besmirchment of the Gears story.
No, the Gears Tactics story. It was just a generic.
I don't believe you.
The guy's retired. Oh no, he's unretired. Okay,
it's epic cinema. I don't know what you're on about. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Graphics were great. Cutscenes were great. It was all very great gameplay. It was fantastic. But back to Warhammer. It's very XCOM-y feel. It's got. There are difficulty spikes like XCOM, but they're not as obvious, especially on the kind of the low to medium difficulties. I'm yet to try out the hardest one because I haven't got enough pairs of pants ready to change into. But it is a very, very decent game. Graphics I was a bit meh at first, but then when I kind of looked into it, I was like, actually, it reminds me a bit like Borderlands. Not quite cell shady, but kind of like toned down cell shady. The storylines. That kind of storyline's going in my head a bit because I think you kind of need to know about the Warhammer lore to kind of fully understand what's going on. All I know is there's a big bad called the Bloom or the Gloom. I think it's a Bloom, and you've got to try and stop it from spreading. All that kind of good jazz. And it actually relies, even though you've got ranged weapons, it actually kind of almost encourages like CQC, like close combat. Because that's the way you can kind of extract the seeds from the enemies, and you get some really cool stuff. Like I wrote in my review, if you get close, obviously every character has like action points, and let's say you have 3 action points. You can use an action point to get close to an enemy, and then once you're in kind of a melee range, you can target a specific limb. So what you can do is then maybe target their arm to chop their arm off, and then they can't use their abilities or their gun. And then you can set them up for an execution and just like decapitate them, which is quite satisfying. And obviously at that point, you think obviously these other games, they're known for you need to be behind cover. But they have this thing called the Shield of Aegis, which basically buffs you, but with some protection. So if the enemy does shoot you, you basically lose the armor. So it gets around that kind of aspect of, well, I don't want to leave myself vulnerable in the world. But yeah, it's very good. I gave it an 8.4. Not quite amazing, but very, very good, and a very good. I mean, if you like that kind of genre, then get onto it. It's very good.
Yes, definitely go check out your review on xboxtavern.com. And yeah, as soon as I got the email in, I read like XCOM style. I was like, Specialist Pete, I've got a game for you. Come check it out. I know it's going to be up your street, and sounds like it was a good shout.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm looking forward to completing it.
Yeah, nice. Go check that bad boy out. Ross, I saw your face when he said XCOM style. I assume that's not your genre either.
It just ruined it for me. Just ruined it for me. I'm one of these people who are desperate to get into the Warhammer universe. And the one coming up, is it Space Marine 2? Which is more just your like run and gun type style by the looks of it. I am buzzing for that to come out.
Did you play the original Space Marine?
I didn't know. But I've obviously I feel like it's a nice way to jump into the franchise. But anything, and it'll be a contentious point that me and Pete will discuss when we talk about another game that we've both been playing. Anything that has that sort of XCOM style loses marks for me right off the bat. And it's not because it's not a good system. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying like turn-based strategy games are not good. It's just not my cup of tea. And I feel like there's a time and a place for it, and I don't feel like some games that have it need it. But I get that there is obviously a very big market of games that are excel because they are that style of game.
I feel like it's still a bit of a niche genre, to be honest, because not many
definitely, yeah,
worry into it. But like I said, that's why I feel like a lot of games could actually expand. You know, like Halo could quite easily do one. You know, you can run around as a couple of Master Chiefs with your swords and shit. Yeah. You know,
well, I suppose they did go to the RTS genre quite well. So
RTS, I can quite happily get behind. I love RTS, but just turn-based is a bit.
Yeah,
I don't like.
Halo Wars was all right.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Ross. The idea of XCOM style games I really like, and I've tried XCOM. I've tried Gears Tactics. I tried another one that you played. I think Pete. I can't remember which one now, but I always get maybe a couple of hours in. I'm like,
I think there is.
Can I just run up and punch him in the face? Why have I got to wait 10
There is a
turns?
happy medium where I wrote my review about the one that was in my honorable mentions last year, the Miasma Chronicles, where actually it is kind of like a sandboxy / open world where it's not turn-based until you go into combat, but you can actually just avoid combat altogether by going random, or if you're sneaky enough, you can just snipe every enemy without having to engage in like turn-based things.
So you're lucky fucking MPV Graham ain't here this week, I'll tell you.
I know. But there is an option, and I think that's where, even though Demon Hunters was good, it felt very. It wanted to copy the XCOM formula to a T, rather than kind of innovate a bit like the Miasma Chronicles did. Yeah,
fair enough. Very nice. Yeah, go check that bad boy out. Go check out his review on xboxtavern.com. It's not a Game Pass game, is it? I don't believe. No,
it's not out to the 20th either, so you've got to wait another 2 days to play it.
Oh, whoa, look at that, getting in there early.
I know, the embargo came up. We were quite lucky. I mean, I got the review done, and then we went live, and we even got tweet and retweeted stuff by the accounts and stuff. So I think we were the first review site to actually get review out live. So, yeah, well done, team. Well done.
Damn right. Well done, team. It's all you, sir. All you. Anyway. Special guest Pete for doing. That's why you're special guest Pete. Right. Yeah. I'm going to talk. I've got so many games I've been playing recently. That that I didn't get to talk about last week because we ran out of time, and I'm not going to go through them all this week, but I'm going to shout out 2 very quickly before we sort of go around again. I'll talk about the main one, but one is a game called DDI Racing, I believe it is, on Steam. It's in beta at the minute. I don't know if it's like a time thing or not. I'm not sure, but it's basically like a reimagining of Sega Rally, like the old Sega Saturn / arcade Sega Rally game. I forget the name of the guy. I really should have looked it up, but he is basically taking that style of game. It's even got like the logo is basically Sega Rally's logo, just with his own.
What was it called? DDI.
DDI Racing, I believe it is.
Not Diddy Kong Racing, no.
Not Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, I remember seeing this. Yes,
I was like Diddy Kong Racing.
It's fucking brilliant. I mean, if you like the old school like arcadey rally games,
yes, I do.
Highly recommend checking it out. I managed to nab a code off of the developer. He was offering some out for people to test out the beta. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can just go and buy it or if you need to speak to him, but it's well worth a sort of a Google search. Ask Jeeves for DDR Racing. It's a lot of fun. I had a good few races through several of the tracks. Initially, I was like, it's in obviously early access, what have you, and it looked quite rough, and I was like, it doesn't look quite like the screenshot she shared. And then I realised that actually my PC had defaulted to low.
Did they say
everything up to extreme?
In 4-bit.
Lovely, very nice.
I'm just watching the trailer for it that's up on the Steam page, and it's like you've got the Lancia Stratos, the Lancia Integrale.
Yeah, everything from the menus, the way it's laid out, even the music's very similar to Sega Rally. It
looks absolutely
an official Sega Rally. It's well worth a go. It feels nice to play. Like the handling's pretty good, and it's got like the easy right, easy left, maybe, and all that sort of stuff in there. If you like the old school Sega Rally stuff, go give that a shout.
I mean, it's fucking nostalgic as fuck, but it looks love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Many a pound coin was lost to this game.
Oh yes. I'm pretty sure I broke one of my Sega Saturn controllers playing Sega Rally, trying to get through the last final stage on that level. I was terrible at it, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, bringing it more to the modern day, I've been playing a game called A Little to the Left. Either of you gentlemen heard of A Little to the Left? It's come out on Game Pass a couple of days ago.
I'd say I reckon that's from the Game Pass game.
I got a chance to review it obviously prior to that, and it's basically like, you played Unpacking at all?
Yes.
No, but I've seen it.
So Unpacking is like a tidy up game. A Little to the Left is a tidy up game, but instead of just placing items in a level, it's like a little puzzle game. So you'll be presented with like 5 picture frames, and they're all wonky, and you just have to straighten them up. Simple as that. And then you get a star,
I've seen this game. Yeah,
and then you move to the next level, and it'll be say like a toolbox, and there'll be a load of tools scattered around. You've just got to place them all, but they all have their very specific places of where they go, so they all slot into a certain area. And obviously the shapes of some will work around the shapes of others, and it all creates a very nice and neat for OCD people. It's like, it has to be in the exact right place. It's very much catered to that sort of crowd, and do you know what, I really enjoyed it. I've played probably like 70-80% of the main levels and a good chunk of the DLC levels, and some of them are quite tricky. Like, even though it sort of gives you a guide in hand, is like when you hover over an area, it will sort of show you can snap it into a position. There's still sort of patterns to look for. So one of the levels has some items with like big to small, but also on them they've got little notches, and then you can also arrange them, one notch to 6 notches or something like that. And for each different solution you get 1 star, and you only have to get 1 to pass it, but you can go back and try and solve it in different ways. Or there'll be ones with like coloured patterns on items, and you got to line them up so the sort of the contours of the coloured pattern follow, or you got to rotate the stuff to make it line. It's all very just trying to make things neat and tidy and organised, and which I hate doing in real life, but in the video game, a lot of fun.
There's targets, right? So it says straighten all 5 things or find all.
Yeah, so it doesn't tell you what the target is. You have to sort of figure it out yourself. But most levels have one, but some levels will have multiple solutions you can go for. And then there's like a daily tidy where you go in, and there's got like daily levels where there's just one challenge level for you to go for. But yeah, it's really, really good. The only downfall I found, because it's already been out on Steam and PC and Switch and PC, is they obviously have either mouse control or touch control, and obviously on the console they don't support mouse, it's just controller, and so you sort of dragging a cursor around the screen, which is never the best way to interact with stuff. But on Game Pass, it makes use of cloud gaming, and on cloud gaming you can use the touch screen to play if you on your phone or on your tablet or whatever, and it's so much better that way. I found I really enjoyed playing some levels the other day on my break at work, just dragging some stuff, drop it into position. Oh, lovely. Very, very satisfying. So like I said, it's out on Game Pass now. My review's up on xboxtavern.com. And go check that bad boy out. There's fucking loads of levels. Like I said, loads of different solutions as well as daily
the benefit of
challenges
Ian,
and
how
DLC.
easy is it to 1000G?
I haven't even looked at the achievement list, so I've no idea.
They haven't been pinging then for you to go.
I don't have the notifications on. I turn them off because who cares? No one needs to know about achievements unless you're 1.6 million man Ian. And then you need to know about all the achievements. But yeah, go check it out. It's on Game Pass. It's well worth a go. Highly recommend giving it a shot, especially on touch control. If you've got a nice big tablet or something to play on, perfect. Gentlemen, Ross, you mentioned a game you and special guest Pete wanted to sort of have a little back and forth with. So let's get into what I can only assume is Baldur's Gate 3.
Whoop, whoop.
Not Football Manager.
I've not been playing it. No.
Oh.
I've been too caught up on my Baldur's Gate experiences. So.
Yeah. Okay. So Lee, so it sounds like you had an issue with the was it combat or?
Yeah, I think I was right, and I'm going to out myself, and I don't even care. I do not care, right? I set it to a custom difficulty where I destroy every enemy, where it's no challenge in regards to the combat. I am solely playing this game to experience the world, the lore, the discoverability of what you can find in Baldur's Gate or the surrounding areas, and that is solely the reason why I'm playing it. I have always wanted to be able to join like a D&D type group type idea, the whole creating your own world type idea, but it's not something that's readily available. So I thought, right, I'm going to get into this game, I'm going to find out about all the backstories, everything, and I want to just be able to take this game at its own pace and discover the world of Faerun, for example. I don't want to have to worry about fucking, I'm going to do one move, and then you've got 5 guys on your squad that are all going to take their turn. Then I'm going to get another turn, and then 4 more of your guys are going to get a turn, and then I'm going to get a turn, and then you might have finished your turns, and then I'll come back to my turn. No. I just want to fucking go in, nuke everything, and enjoy the actual story, enjoy the gameplay, enjoy the world, and relax. So, on that, I am halfway through Act 2, and it's fucking fantastic. I am 70 hours into the game, I think. And apparently I've still got a shit ton left to go.
Oh, yeah.
So are you playing on your own? Or
Yeah.
Are you doing? Okay.
So
before Special Guest Pete tells you why you're wrong, I did play a bit of Baldur's Gate the other day with Graham, MPV Graham.
Oh,
yep.
I want to play multiplayer.
I joined his game. We said that we had an evening where some of our wives were out, so I thought we'd have a quick game. I joined him. Unlike Power World, where Ian obviously set us off, and I was like, actually, I'm quite enjoying this. No idea what was going on. I spent half of our time going through the inventory because I leveled up like 50 levels trying to catch up to him. And by the time we got into combat, I missed everything. I didn't do anything at all. And then it kept. I think he was in some tombs and we were lost, so we just turned it off and played some Rocket League instead. I need to either give it a go properly or just pretend that I played it. And never.
Baldur's Gate is one of those games where you need to start together at the start and not kind of join halfway through, because even though you could go around his world and go separately and talk to people, you kind of need to you need to see the start really, just so you can know what the fuck is going on and why you're doing what you're doing.
Where I joined him, it was just before. I don't know the guy's name, but it could have been a big fight, but because of the way Graham set his character up, he basically avoided the fight completely and managed to. I won't spoil it, not that I know what happened, but he avoided it completely in a completely different way. So I just sat there for 5 minutes while he picked all the dialogue options, and then we just run around and go, where the fuck are we going? No idea.
Yeah, to be fair, there is quite. This is the thing about Baldur's Gate. I mean, the reason why I think turn-based is probably needed in this game is because you can complete it. I mean, look, there's 17,000 different bloody endings apparently, and there's numerous ways that you can kill bosses and kill enemies. It's limited. I mean, I don't have much of an imagination, but the game is limited to your own imagination. Like today, I'm going through Act 1 again with my second character, and I've been seeing on the internet about how you can, when you're in the goblin camp, you can kind of like poison the alcohol. And I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh, that's the thing, I can do that. And then I was like, oh, no, I did it. And then, if you do choose to start a fight with the goblins, then it's the fight, you only fight only half of them rather than the whole thing. The ones that are left are already kind of like half health. There's so many ways you can do this game. Like the first playthrough, I did a paladin. I was very much it took me about 4 or 5 starts to decide which class I wanted to be, because I always try to be like a ranger at first. But when I started it and then I looked into it online, ranger's apparently like the worst class, which is a bit of a shame, because I enjoy being the whole ranged thing. But I chose a paladin, and man, they can do some bloody damage. They can damage you and heal your party at the same time. Oh my! I mean, it's a very overpowered class. But I'm glad I chose it, because some of the damage you can do, like you said about some bosses will take an age. This one boss I think was an undead boss, and I just hit him with one critical hit with some radiant damage, and I failed him in one hit, and I was like, shit. Whereas if you don't have a paladin in your party, you're going to take like 9 or 10 turns to down some of these guys. And I think that's where the Baldur's Gate comes into its own, where you can just, there's an enemy today, right? So I'm dovetailing off again. Where you've been to the Goblin camp, right, Ross? So you got to kill the 3 leaders, right? So there's the one leader who sits on the chair. I had randomly picked up with Carla, because what I did, my second playthrough, I've now reclassed some of my characters. So in my first playthrough, I leaned towards a certain 3 characters because I wanted someone who could lockpick. I wanted a tank. I wanted something, right? Whereas now I've made Karlak a paladin. I've made Lae'zel a sneaky rogue, just so I can have them in my party, just so I can hear their banter rather than doing the same things over and over. And anyway, so I got Karlak to pick up 2 like smoke bomb barrels. I placed one by the boss and one kind of by his minions, and I blew both up. Just the whole screen started lagging because there were so many explosions. But I killed every single goblin. I killed about 20 goblins in the space of 2 seconds just from these explosions. And I was like, well, that's one way to take him down, because he's quite a dangerous boss. Where you start, he can actually push you off the ledge and like kill one of the characters. So by being friendly at first and then placing these barrels strategically, I was able to just blow him up in one hit, which was very fun to watch.
See, I never thought about respecing companions, because my team is very skewed to sort of one aspect. So obviously I'm great sword paladin. I've got it so that my abilities, I can now do like 3 attacks in the one turn.
Yeah.
So I do like monumental damage for that. But then I also have Karlak, who's a berserker, who can also do 3 attacks in one turn, and again has a massive big fuck off greatsword type idea. So between the two of us, we are like raining death on nearly everything.
Yeah.
I've got Shadowheart for my healing / spell type idea, and then I've got Gale.
Yeah.
But I want to try Will, but then I'm like, Will just use his swords, and I feel like that he's just going to like, and then it's the same.
The Warlock class is quite underrated, especially at like mid to high levels when the Eldritch Blast.
Well, that's what I've got. That's what Gale's for. Gale just fucking rains down death from everywhere.
With the Warlock, you can actually do it so you do 3 bolts, and then you can actually force them back. So in certain enemies, you can hit them 3 times with the same bolt, do 3 lots of damage, but then they can also potentially fall off the cliff and die. So the Warlock, so like you, like my first playthrough, I was the Paladin tank with my sword and shield, or mace and shield. Then I had, what's the vampire called? Astarion. Oh, I forgot his name.
I've never used him. I've had him with my party.
he was basically my stealth character to start off. If I knew a fight was coming, I would use him to do a sneak attack from range, to pick a few off, to make the battles a little bit easier. Because you get automatic crits and stuff. So I had me as a paladin, I had Astarion as the rogue, and then I had Gale and Shadowheart. I would then swap out Astarion. If I was doing a companion quest, I would then take Astarion out and then put Will in, put then the others in, like Karlach in and stuff. But now that's why at the start of this game, I've now respect Karlach to be a paladin. I've respected Lae'zel to be a sneaky rogue.
Yeah.
And I've got Shadowheart for now, but I think I'm trying to. My first playthrough, I didn't. Did you recruit Minthara?
Well, no, because I didn't realize she was a baddie.
Yeah, I accidentally killed her as well. But I found out that you can actually, if you turn on
non-aggressive mode, and just knock her out.
Yeah, you knocked because she's temporary hostile, and then you find her again in Act 2. So I'm hoping to recruit her in my second playthrough because my second playthrough I'm a drow sorcerer, so I'm a little bit evil. So yeah, I'm having a blast. I'm thinking because Minthara I think is a paladin, but I think I'm going to respec her as a cleric just so I can have her in the party. As much as I like Shadowheart, I want some different banter in the party.
So my plan is when I go and play Act 2 is I'm going to go and play it as what's it called?
Druid?
No, the dragon.
Monk. Oh, the Dragonborn.
Yeah, the dark mind.
Dark Urge, yeah.
Dark Urge, because apparently that opens up like infinitely new type ideas.
I've seen some clips, and it's basically the ultimate evil playthrough. Like you end up actually, depending on how evil you actually are, you actually have to use the hirelings that the dead guy offers you.
Nice.
I won't say anymore because obviously once I completed the game, I read a few spoilers to go, okay, I can do that next time. I can do that next time. Just to give myself a few ideas how to make the game more interesting. Because of my first playthrough, because I couldn't find it, I completely missed the Ginfraki base.
The crash.
Yeah, I completely missed it on my first playthrough because I just couldn't. I was like, the door's not opening. I can't open the door. And I can't find. So okay, fine. I'll just move on. And then because I was like, okay, so how do I get to it? And when I read on the internet, I kind of googled it, and I was like, how to get into the crash? And it said Act 2. So I thought, okay, fine. I'll just go through there, and then Act 2. And Act 2 came along. It's like, oh no, this quest is no longer available. I was like, so I've made sure to actually go into the crash this time.
Yes, and the crash is quite good.
Yeah, it was very good. I'm glad Lae'zel was still with me.
She almost wasn't still with me. She was not a happy bunny when I was going through that crash.
Yeah, being a sorcerer with not great charisma is not very great for the rolls, but we moved.
Yeah, being a paladin and having Shadowheart, a bush of persuasion,
guidance,
and it was like, whoo, I can just talk that fucking shit down.
Every dice roll I was getting like 30 to 35 on my first playthrough. The dice might as well not be there.
That's why I've noticed I'm missing. No, I'm not missing. Sorry, that's the wrong way to put it because that would suggest I wasn't going for it. I'm not having to fight a lot of people who I know are big fucking hard fights because I'm using persuasion checks and I'm usually passing the persuasion checks.
So did you? So is that in Act 2? Is that the big monster guy who drinks beer? Did you do that one?
I managed to get him to drink himself to death.
Yeah,
I managed to get all three of them to just.
Oh, then the doctor's thing as well. Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
But have you got the third one?
The demon hunter in the dungeon.
No, big old lady.
Who? Oh yes, her. Yeah.
So I managed to get all three of them just to off themselves. I was like, thank fuck.
So have you done the Temple of the Dark Justice bit yet? Have you found? Yeah. So when you find the boss with a crossbow, did you manage to talk him down as well?
Boss. Oh yeah, I got him to. Yeah, I got him to for Raphael.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny because he actually. I won't spoil it too much, but he does turn back up in the game.
I've heard you come back across him in Act 3.
You do, yeah, and you can actually get him on your side, despite what you did.
Apart from talking himself to killing himself.
Yeah. He's looking, going, what the fuck are you two talking about? But
I'm loving it. You carry on. I mean, yeah, we haven't got all
you
night,
should love
but
this game. You should love this game because you can converse with every single character.
Yes, you
can.
can.
Every
right.
single NPC has dialogue and
There
different
better
voices.
damn well be someone. that
You
is
wouldn't make it
talking.
out of Act 1 for like 100 hours because you'd be talking to every
Like,
single
probably,
like,
NPC.
trying to avoid it.
As soon as you get to the what's it called? The Grove. As soon as you get to the Grove, that's you.
Oh,
You're a good week in the Grove talking to every cunt because there's fucking loads of them.
yeah.
And between
I know.
it's not just for the fact is they've got like something to say. They've got something to say, and then they ask you to go and do something, and then they've got
Yeah.
more to say when you come back.
Yeah. And the things like, there's little Easter eggs, like there's a spell called Speak with Dead. So
Yep.
if you find a dead body, you can use the spell Speak with Dead, and then doing that on a random person will then open up dialogue somewhere else, like down the line. Same with Speak with Animals. Like you just... it's a
Scratch!
Yeah, I love Scratch. Speak with Animals is a very important spell that everyone should learn and have active at all times. Again, it's one of these things where you'll find, like I think I talked to you before about when you go to the barn in Act 2, and you've got those three cows at the back of the barn.
Yeah, the oxys,
And the right one turns out to be some kind of weird giant sludge enemy, and you're like, oh, fuck, take it down, you know. So the little Easter eggs that you would never think to find, like the Larian Studios have found a way to make everything just.
Well, see,
interactable.
I don't have the spell. I just make sure that every time I go to a vendor, I get the potion.
Yeah. Well, and then you can. So my first playthrough, I found a necklace that had the spell on it.
Oh, win.
So then I just used it on my, because like you, I thought first playthrough I'll just put the sliders down, even though combat was still a bit iffy at some points. You know, I had that up around my neck thinking I don't need that buff. I'll just have Speak of Animals on me. So I was able to speak to every single like animal from pretty much Act 2 or whatever. It's just these little things that just unlock other things. And like the game was 58 quid. Like, I know it's a conversation for another day, right? But people are talking about GTA being 100 quid or whatever. Like, this game is the first game I can say is worth that 70 quid. Even though it's only £58, if it was £70, it'd be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
shit, and there's no DLC. There's a little bit of cosmetic stuff, isn't there, that you can buy their stuff. And
yeah, like if you get the deluxe edition, you get like an item from, is it the Divinity games?
Yeah. Like I said, like my first playthrough took over 100 hours. Obviously, I'm sure it's less than that because of all the times I probably fell asleep and all that. But if my first playthrough took 100 hours and I missed things like the gift crash, right? To do every single quest, it's going to take you 120, 150 hours. And that's just one playthrough. You know, there's so much more you can unlock by being a dickhead.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, the game almost encouraged you to do a dickhead playthrough.
Yeah,
That's a back of the box quote if I've ever heard one, eh?
And I think Larian have done a really good job. So like Mass Effect, right? I could never be a renegade because I love all my comrades. I could never be a dick to them, right? Whereas Larian Studios, the companions are really good, but I've got no issue sticking a knife in their back.
no, I don't.
There's some like Shadowheart I would never betray.
I would betray Shadowheart.
Astarion.
I could never turn my back on Karlach.
No, So Karlach and Shadowheart, I think it's exempt. Will, again, he can go.
I like Gale. I must admit, I do like Gale.
Gale's okay, but get my nerves a little bit. But is what it is.
Lizelle can go and eat shit.
Yeah, she's fine. She's the Dom, Jay. In case you're wondering.
I've no interest in like having any sort of conversation with Lizelle.
It's funny, she literally offers herself on a plate. She's like, "I want to taste you. Meet me tonight behind my camp.
Fuck off.
I want to taste you. I know you want to taste me as well."
It's just like to quote Jay, it is very much I get in the bin. Just don't bother me. I've done your mission. That's all you need to worry about.
That's why I wanted to. That's because again, my first playthrough, I never used her. So I'm hoping that in my second playthrough, making her that rogue character that I want to use, hopefully she'll be more relevant.
Yeah, she was not best pleased with me going through the crash.
No?
Oh no!
What did you do?
I just basically told her to shut the fuck up and mind her own business and let me do the talking. Because she keeps saying like that, these are my people, and let me do the talking, and I will make sure that we are. And I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, being a drow, like the amount of times you can just quote drow like your religion and shit, going, you'll see like a tiefling or you'll see a gnome, and you think, or like when I was like the goblin camp, right? When I was a paladin, I was an elf, or if you're any other race but a drow, they attack you on sight. But because I was a drow, the race is historically friendly with the goblins, so I could just walk in and then just stab in the back when I walk by. But then when they talk to you, like if they're like, "Oh, move out of the way," you can use the drow speech in terms of "fuck off." They're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, boss. I didn't mean to offend you. Please don't slit my throat." You know, you could literally just go. You can. There are dialogues like, cross me again and I will slit your throat, kind of thing. It is like, there is a lot of, again, Mass Effect. There wasn't a big difference when you went Renegade. There was some, but not a lot. Whereas this game totally changes everything. And like I said, there's over 17,000 different endings allegedly. Yes. So, wow.
Got to get them all.
Yeah. Sorry, we waffled on a lot about Baldur's Gate.
We have. Like, Baldur's Gate has consumed this episode.
I'm calling it now. This is going to be Game of the Year for me. I know it came out in December, but when we were doing our show for Game of the Year last year, it came
wasn't
out
eligible.
That week. So it's now eligible for this year's Game of the Year because we missed it. And I can't see any game beating it. I generally can't see any game for me. I can't see any game this year. This is going to be my new Dragon Age and Mass Effect, playing it once a year, just to play it. Even though it's 100 hours, like it's so good. It's
I can see myself committing numerous playthroughs to it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And Jay, like I said, you love it. You spend a year just talking to all the NPCs.
I mean, and good luck to you when you get to Baldur's Gate, the actual place, because from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, it is fucking massive.
Yep. And the thing is, you don't even. Oh, I won't spoil it. But yeah, there is two main areas in the Baldur's Gate area, and like there's like a circus. There's so much in there. It's ridiculous. Like, how they fit all this into a £58 game, I'll never know. And I can see now why this would never be in like a subscription service like Game Pass, because this is one of those games where like you want the developers to be rewarded for their hard work.
Yeah.
Like, as awesome it would be to get into Game Pass and for everyone Xbox to play it, like, it would feel like you're cheating the devs. Like not giving them money for that. I know that they would get paid from Xbox, whatever, but it's worth the £58. It is very much worth it.
I'll give you. I mean, this is the biggest praise I can sort of give it. Is I've bought it twice. So I bought it on PlayStation, then bought it on Xbox because
and you don't even like turn-based combat.
That's the fucking thing. So I've bought it, but solely because it's crossplay, and so it's literally. If I'm in a different part of the house for that, I've not got my Xbox set up, I can just go and fire the PlayStation on and play it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then I can then just go and jump over and play it on the fucking Xbox if I head up to bed. And it's just like, I'm never like unable to not just jump on and play it.
And you can see why they had issues with the Series S.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Game of the Year. Well done.
Anyway, that's all the time we got for today. What's happened, Baldur's Gate? I do feel like we need to have you two, probably Graham. I don't think he's played much of it, and just sit you in a room and just have you go at it for
however long.
Yeah, as long as you like, because it sounds like you're all very, very invested in it. I know Graham's obviously very invested in it as well. And perhaps one day I'll join you. But the problem is, I got
the Warhammer review done so quick, so I want to go back and play Baldur's Gate.
That's why, like, if it hadn't been for fucking multiplayer Helldivers and fucking multiplayer my other game that I played this week, fucking Baldur's Gate would have been all I've played.
Yes, and that's the problem. All I've been playing this week, pretty much, except for Redacted, is Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth still. And like you guys, that, for me, is probably going to be one of my favourite games of the year. I'm so surprised, considering how long it took me to get into the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series. It's fucking brilliant. It's just, it's nowhere near as in-depth as Baldur's Gate, don't get me wrong. But every time you sort of go around the corner, they give you a new side mission or a new ability or new area to explore or new game mode, or it's just constantly just like, hey, have more. Oh no, we haven't got any more. Psych, have more. And it's just fucking brilliant. I think I'm on day 10 now of Dondoku Island, which is like the Animal Crossing style it's like side game. And you don't have to play it. You have to go there as part of the story. But after the first day, I think after the second day, you can leave and not go back. And I was going to do that, but Graham recommended to stay because you can earn quite good money. And now I'm on day 10, and I don't really want to go back to the mainland and carry on with the main story. I'm quite happy just building my island, clearing out the rubbish and building some hotels and getting people to come and visit and trying to get Dondoku Island up to a 5-star resort.
What's the story?
Location.
It's a Yakuza game, right?
Yeah, so the latest one in it. So they're, instead of being in Japan, they're in Hawaii looking for Ichiban's mum who's living there. And you got him, Kiryu, and an assortment of other cast members. And it's a like a kung fu like revenge story effectively. But just as you start kicking some ass, they'll be like, do you want to go play bowling? Like a old
Cousin.
old cousin. Or do you want to go fishing? Or do you want to go clean up the beach? Or do you want to go do the side mission? Or do you want to fight these guys? Or do you want to fight them guys? Or do you want to enter a Sujimon tournament, which is like Pokemon basically? Or like I said, do you want to go to Dondoku Island and make a wonderful resort? And it's just brilliant. It's so fun. It's so like over the top, but not ridiculous at the same time. I mean, it is ridiculous, but it's not just like, look how wacky we are. It's just perfectly paced, perfectly pitched. And yeah, even the stuff like, I haven't really touched the Sujimon stuff yet because I'm not too interested in that. But like I said, the Dondoku Island stuff, I thought I'd get there and be like, nope, let me out of here. Let me carry on with the main stuff, which is very good. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving building my little island up, clearing out the rubbish and fighting some enemies. What are they called? The waste. I can't remember what they're called now. It's basically pirates, but they're all dressed as like garbage men. They've got like high-vis jackets on and stuff, and they're basically dumping the rubbish on the island. You've got to clear it out and beat them up, which is good. But yeah, the main game's awesome. The side games are awesome. The stuff you can do is awesome. It's just brilliant. Definitely going to be one of my favourite games of the year. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't checked out any of them, this would be a good starting point. Even though
Was it on Game Pass? Sorry.
This one's not on Game Pass. The rest of them are, but not this one. But yeah, I imagine it will do at some point because again, the rest of the series is on there now. But yeah, it's brilliant. And for Ross, it's got turn-based combat as well. Which again, as I said last week, traditionally not a big fan of. But the way they do it here, Pete, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but you've got your team and you've got the enemy team. You take it in turns, but rather than being static where you're just choosing from a menu, each character, when you come to choose their action, they've got like a radius around and they can move in real time.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you can move around to try and get a better position in order to do a back attack or to do a close up. Like if you're closer, you get like a bonus to the damage. You got special moves you can use, which will hit several enemies, or you can defend or heal yourself. And then you move on to the next person's turn. They can do the same sort of stuff. And when you're being attacked, it's like in Mario RPG. If you press the defend button at the right time, you can take less damage by blocking the attack. So it's not just sitting there watching what's going on. You're actively playing, no matter whether you're attacking or defending as well. It's just the fact that you can't, unlike all the other Yakuza games, apart from Yakuza 7, you've got to wait your turn to punch someone in the face. Whereas in the other ones, you could just run up and kick them as hard as possible. But yeah, it's really, really good. I'm loving it. I didn't think I would enjoy it anywhere near as much as I am. But yeah, highly recommend it. However, because I haven't got someone here to bounce off of that's also been playing it, unlike Baldur's Gate 3, we'll move on from there. We're obviously going very long. We've still got the big news of the week to talk about. Is there any other games we've been playing that they really want to give a quick shout out to, or should we get into the old pluggles?
Unless you want to talk about my Football Manager Network save.
Jesus Christ, right, plugs. Give me plugs, Ross.
So, network save, you said?
Yeah, network save, yeah. We're now in season 2030-31.
For Jedi's. Rapid fire plugs this week, because as Jay was saying, we are We are pushing the boundaries of how long our games played this week has taken, as it's now an hour and 9 minutes. We are YouTube partners. Woohoo! Go us. And if you believe Dan, we are only like 12 hours away from being to the next milestone, even it's like 250 hours, but you know.
And tomorrow it'll be 20 hours,
yeah. Go Dan with your math. Yeah. So you can jump in there, sign up to become a member of our channel, and you will get access to various different things. If we're doing certain live streams, our After Dark section is in our members only section. So at the entry price point, so 99 pence, you can get in and jump into our After Darks, where basically we just shoot the shit about random things. It's not necessarily game related. It's just whatever we feel like chatting that week. We've had the Royal Rumble, we've had pizza toppings, we've had a bit of GeoGuessr. So it's a very, very broad spectrum type idea. So come over there, jump in, be fantastic. Apple and Spotify podcasts, if you want to jump over there, leave us a wee comment, a wee 5-star review, it'd be greatly appreciated. CD Keys affiliate link, so it doesn't cost you any extra, but if you use that link, it will jump over to the Just CD Keys website, but it gives us a little kickback on any purchases made using that link as well. So it helps you support the channel, and allows us to keep on doing these sort of fancy graphics and all that you see on the screen. Written reviews, you will have a list of them later on. Written reviews, you will have a list later on the show that can be found over at xboxtavern.com. Socials have been running along the screen throughout the whole podcast, so there'll be some way, shape or form at Xbox Tavern or at Xbox Tavern Official. And last but by no means least, the wonderful people over at Insert Coin. If you use promo code XBXTVRN for £5 off orders over £50.
Nice. Thank you ever so much for some rapid
plug-in.
fire pluggles there. We do enjoy a bit of rapid fire pluggles.
I feel sufficiently plugged.
Nice. All right, let's do some rapid fire news as well then, shall we, gentlemen? And obviously there's only really one big story we should talk about, which is the culmination of what was the week of disaster. Did you know Xbox have not only have they exited the game business, they actively are destroying video games left, right, and centre. They've taken out the National Archives of video games. They come around my house. They took my Xbox.
Stealing all your physical media.
Snapped it over their knee.
See all the discs that you hoard.
Yeah.
Gone.
I mean, that Series X is a beefy boy. They just straight over their knee, snapped it in half. They deleted my internet. We're lucky we're even here right now.
Big Phil just fucking
it was him personally. He come round to my house and took all my games away. And he said, you know what? Unless you're going to play on PlayStation, fuck you. And I said, oh, I've got a PlayStation. And he said, good. Get on it. Yeah, so obviously, the more extreme fringes of the internet went a bit mad. When there was rumours coming out that Xbox were going to go and put a lot of games on PlayStation.
Halo, Gears,
Starfield, Indiana Jones, all that sort of stuff. So they had a business update event, which they sort of prior advertised as a part of their podcast, which was last Thursday, 8 p.m.
Ish!
Yeah, you still got one, Phil, even though you snapped my Xbox over your knee. And it was 22 minutes, I think, where I don't know if what your opinion was, Ross, but they all looked very nervous and very tense. They're all sitting there with their like, I'm ready. Let me talk video games. I'm here. And they basically said that 4 video games are coming to other platforms.
They said a whole lot of nothing. It's what they said. They said a whole lot of nothing.
There was a whole lot of nothing.
That was it.
It was 20 minutes of him basically saying Xbox is good and Xbox games are good and Game Pass is good. And also we're going to put a couple of games on somewhere else. But don't worry, Xbox is still good.
Yeah.
And we're going to have new Xbox and newness and new.
And the new Xbox is going to be the biggest technological leap.
Yes, and also Diablo 4 is out on Game Pass soon. Whoa.
Yeah, end of the month. Ooh, yeah, go.
So they said basically 4 games. They're not going to announce the games, which I think we can.
Choice. I think we can work them out.
Well, I mean, literally like the minute afterwards, everybody was like, "Well, it's Sea of Thieves,
Pentiment,
and Hi-Fi Rush."
Hi-Fi Rush, and Grounded. And let's face it, in the fucking grand scheme of things, Is that really going to be the games that fucking are the downfall of Xbox? Oh my god, Grounded is on PlayStation.
This is what I kind of want to get into, because obviously we got into it last week, and I don't want to repeat myself too much, even though I am prone to do so. But so what? Like I said, unless Phil is going to come around your house and delete it off your console and say, fuck you, you're never going to be able to play this again. So what if they put Grounded or Sea of Thieves or fuck even Starfield or Halo, whatever, doesn't matter.
I jokingly said about Redfall, didn't I, in the Tavern chat, because obviously it was panned by everyone. But recently, the last few days, I've actually been seeing people on social media like praising the game, saying how good it is now. So it wouldn't surprise me if that somehow made its way over the pond.
But I think part of that is, again, as the internet is going to internet, a certain subsect of people couldn't play it because it was on one console. Boom. Now there's a risk it could, or a potential, I should say, it could come to another console.
It can't be as bad as it is.
Actually, do you know what? It wasn't that bad. Actually, I think it could be all right.
It's quite enjoyable, actually.
Quite a lot.
I think the worst thing about the business update, is that it pretty much validated the Twitter grifters, as I call them, the people that basically just shovel their horse shit into people's feeds, going about the doom and gloom. And it got so bad that Microsoft actually had to come out and do this business update.
Yeah, it's almost like a mini victory for them.
And go, no, we're fine. That might happen down the road, but that's what we're going to tell you. By the way, Diablo 4 on Game Pass. The problem with that is the grifters will now feel vindicated that every time they now do this, it will
provoke a reaction,
kind of response. I think this is the only negative thing to come out of this business update, is that it's the grifters have kind of almost won.
Yeah,
I think that's why they were so rigid in their shit. Like, I can't say the wrong word, otherwise Tim Dog's going to be upset at me. And
Tim Dog's went mental. Oh man, he has had proper fucking meltdowns.
These are some names that, again, like I said last week, I think, or the week before. If you know them names, please just pretend you don't. We don't. I don't want to besmirch anyone. You do what you got to do. But the people who get really angry and upset over video games on the internet, there's no need for it. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Let's just enjoy our games. If someone else gets to play it,
at the same time, I was one of these people. Redfall, I was hyped up to the max. I thought this game was going to be fucking incredible. The folk that made fucking Dishonored, the guys that made fucking Deathloop, and it's a fucking multiplayer vampire shooter type game. This is going to be the fucking dog's bollocks, and it was shit. I didn't go on fucking Twitter and start having meltdowns to end my existence.
No, I mean, I did give it a pretty scathing review, but that's part of my job.
Kind of your job title to do that.
But yeah, I didn't then go on social
Twitter
media
and then drag it out for fucking 6 months.
Yeah,
we just talked about it on a podcast for about 4 weeks.
Exactly, and just slammed it left, right, and centre. So they said the 4 games are coming, but they didn't say when. They said they're going to announce it as and when the people want it, like the developers want to announce it. And they kind of had a bit of a shit sandwich where they, here's some good news. Some games are coming. It's going to upset some people, but it doesn't matter. And then we're going to have Diablo 4 on Game Pass. We're going to have June showcase to show off some other games that we haven't shown off recently. Probably, I imagine, updates on Fable, maybe Perfect Dark, if we're really pulling at straws there.
Yeah. Has the next big game from Microsoft Studios been announced yet?
Well, that's
Avowed, isn't it? Technically,
because obviously we knew Starfield was coming, didn't we?
Yeah, Avowed's the one that we're working towards
this year. Hellblade, Indiana Jones, and Ara History Untold. But then, obviously, beyond that, we've got stuff that we know about already that we haven't seen, like Fable. Perfect Dark,
Elder
Scrolls 6, maybe. And then they also said that we're going to hear about new hardware towards the end of the year. Not necessarily the next gen.
Are we thinking that Elder Scrolls is going to be a launch title for the next Xbox? I mean, I think that's fairly conclusive.
Probably going to be a launch title for the next Xbox. This fucking rate.
2032, I hear.
Yeah. But yeah, so like you said, Ross, there's a bit of nothing. And I mean, like I said again last week, I couldn't help but read all the shit that people were posting because it's so fascinating how people can get so angry over nothing.
Yeah.
And in the same way, I've gone back and seen, I'm not going to name any names, but there's certain people that you probably will have heard of that have now, the day before they were like, oh, this is the end of Xbox. I can't believe they're going third party. They're going to ruin everything. They're going to take away our game.
What's the point of buying an Xbox?
Yeah, and then the day after the business update, Well, do you know what? At least it's only 4 games, and they've said that they might do more. But for now, it's good that they're being just fuck off, you fucking useless cunts. You're literally just there to spark up outrage, and then to go. Actually, do you know what? There was no need for that.
But you know what I find? You know what I also find hilarious as well is 24 hours or 48 hours before said business update, did you see what the head of Sony said?
I did indeed. Would you like to enlighten us?
So, not to drag it out in any way, shape, or form, big issue, but he has
to say his name. Please tell me his name because I love his name.
Dave.
It's Hiroki Totoki.
Dave.
He's got the great name. Hiroki Totoki. Anyway, Karen.
It basically came out and said, so, you know how like PlayStation do like really good with their exclusives? Well, we launched the game recently called God of War Ragnarok, and we put it on PC, and it done really well. And there's also this game called Helldivers 2 that we made, and we launched it day and date on PC, and it absolutely blitzed the Steam charts and made us shit tons of money. So we actually think that we might just start launching our exclusives day and date on PC. The same thing that Sony and PlayStation fanboys have shat all over Xbox for saying it's not an exclusive, you can play it on PC. Sony have now said actually that makes sense.
Who would have thought
that's a good idea? Is a good idea for everybody. Yeah, actually, we might actually start copying it. We're not going to put them on Xbox, not on Xbox, but we might do it on PC. PC sounds like a good idea.
I think Sony came under pressure from a lot of their kind of like things like Final Fantasy 16, right? It obviously it did really well, but had it obviously been on PC and Xbox, it would have done infinitely better. So I think now that I can't remember the old guy's name that left Sony. I think now that he's
Jim
gone,
Ryan.
I think now that Jim Ryan's gone, it may now open up the three to work together more positively in the future. Yeah. Like even if it's like a month or like a 6-month exclusivity, games like Final Fantasy shouldn't be gatekeeped.
But it's games
one of the most world famous franchises, and you're gatekeeping it onto one console.
But then games like Helldivers, for example, I was speaking to Jay just before the show started, and it's like the Xbox ODST community is like sort of making their own little like propaganda videos saying like there's 120 million ODST troopers ready to deploy to whatever planet's needed. Just send us the word and we will come fight the good fight. And it's like, Helldivers 2 is the perfect cross-platform, get as many people involved as possible and make it like this huge, massive, big community type thing. Because like Phil said in the presser, like he was like, Palworld has like went fucking mental because it was game preview. We fired it in the Game Pass, that got tons of eyes on it. And as we were saying, Palworld are now like screaming out to developers like, people, please, like, give us the resources needed to like develop this into a bigger idea than it already is, which would have never got like, because we wouldn't have played it without it being in Game Pass, because it's one of those things. And that's the same with Helldivers. I'm not saying put Helldivers in the Game Pass, I'm not asking for free handouts, but that's the sort of game that if you'd have fired it into every console, I mean, the player base on it would have been fucking huge. Look at the size as it is just now.
And the thing is, Helldivers, we didn't even know anything about it until it released. I mean, it wasn't on my radar.
No.
And all of a sudden, it's like, hang on, this game I've never heard of is now concurrently more players in Destiny. It's like, hang on, where's this come from? And it's only on 2 things. Imagine
even
if
Phil's mentioned this. He had an interview with The Verge, I think it was, and VGC. A few people around the business update they did. And he was saying, like, it's great. Yeah, Helldivers 2, really enjoying it. It's a great game. Congratulations to PlayStation on their dual platform launch. And he said, but he can't see who it helps not being on Xbox. He's not saying, oh, I want it on Xbox. He's just saying, if it was on Xbox, how does that hurt you in any way? It can only benefit you. And the same for the games like Grounded. I mean, I haven't played Grounded at all, I don't think, really. But who does that hurt by putting that on PlayStation? Who does it hurt by putting Sea of Thieves on PlayStation? It doesn't hurt anyone. It just means you've got more people to play with across a broader player base, broader time zones, and all that sort of stuff.
I think it would hurt.
And there's no negative to it. There's literally no negative to it, other than the fact that, I don't need an Xbox to play this anymore. Well, don't get a PlayStation then, or fucking just keep the Xbox you've got if you've already got one. Play it. Excuse me, and play it. I don't get all worked up now. Yeah, play it on there. Like, I understand to an extent people who've made an investment. I can only buy one console. I bought an Xbox, and now you're going to put your games on another platform as well. But you've got the Xbox. What difference does it make? I literally, you haven't got. There's not an infinite amount of time in the world, unless you're a child, which I remember those days many moons ago, where I had all the time to play all the games. But now there's so many.
They have consoles by then.
It was all a theatre of the mind stuff.
Game Boys.
Yeah, it's like it literally doesn't hurt anyone for you to take something like Sea of Thieves or Grounded, or even Hi-Fi Rush or Pentiment. I sort of push back about the idea of a smaller game, but these games that, as Phil said, they've kind of reached their maximum potential where they are. So why not give it to a whole new audience who might not have seen it yet? It doesn't hurt anyone. You've still got it. Now they get to get it as well. Win-win as far as I'm concerned. And it's just the whole stuff beforehand was nonsense. Now everybody's sort of trying to backtrack, and there's been more rumours come out since that they're looking at things like Flight Simulator and Doom to come to PlayStation and Switch and stuff as well. Which is, so what? Like, what? Literally, what difference does it make? You're going to get it. They're going to get it. Do you not enjoy fun? Do you not enjoy just playing the games? Do you have to play a game because someone else can't play it? Is that what gets you off? Are you really like, I've got Flight Simulator. Fuck you. What difference does it make whether you can play it or they can play it or what? Like, it's all it makes no sense. No sense to me. But the point is, it's 4 games. Like I said, he wouldn't announce them, but it was the 4 that we said earlier on. Coming at some point this year, I imagine. They haven't ruled out Starfield and Indiana Jones and stuff in the business. I do enjoy the way Phil says business. Every time I was like business. He sort of played it down, but again, in interviews afterwards, he said, never say never, but at the minute, there's no plans for it. But again, you're going to get it.
I mean, Starfield was like a massive Marmite game, wasn't it? So can you imagine that going on to Sony, like onto PlayStation?
But even then, it literally doesn't matter.
No.
We've played it. We've got it. Now they can play it. And then they can see how fucking middle of the road it is. It literally doesn't matter. Like, it makes no sense to me. But I know there's slightly more nuance to it than I'm giving it there. With, again, not everybody's as lucky to have every platform or to have access to various platforms, etc., like I am, or like we are, I should say. But yeah, the sort of Xbox influencers and the ones that really get into the grifters, like you said, Pete. They wield their power not for good but for evil, and they need to calm the fucking tits and just chill out, enjoy the video game.
The problem is the people who wield their power for good don't usually get a platform. People kind of seem to thrive in the toxicity that is social media.
Which again, I'm again, hands up. I couldn't stop reading it. I didn't want to, but I couldn't because it was fascinating.
It's great. You just grab a bag of popcorn, just sit there going.
Yeah. I was absolutely fascinated. I was like, I just cannot.
Just sitting there and go, oh yeah, that guy's angry.
Get my head around it. And I resisted phrase. I did put up a tweet at some point, I think, on the Tavern account, and I had some responses being like, yeah, but if they do this, then what's the point in buying an Xbox? Then don't buy an Xbox. Like, if that's what going to bother you.
This update. If you don't want to buy an Xbox, you don't have to.
But again, at that point, it was all rumor and speculation, which turned out to be nonsense. So just
doom and gloom end of the world.
Wait for a minute, let them come out. I mean, again, it was very stilted, and like you said, Ross, they didn't really say a lot in terms of what they could have said, but they also at least attempted to reassure people that they're not going to take everything away from you and give you a smack on the arse and say, fuck off, go and play in the fucking fields, you bastards. Phil, he said about like preserving people's libraries and obviously via PC, via Xbox, as well as new hardware and all this sort of stuff. So just chill out. I'm going to keep going if nobody stops me. So please stop me. Let's move on from this. Anyone else got anything else I want to mention before we move on from this nonsense and fucking insanity of a story and go and play some video games.
We've given it all the time we need to give it, I would say.
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough. So yes, we'll see what happens when Pentiment comes to Switch and it turns out that actually my Xbox explodes as someone loads it up and shit. Phil!
Damn it, Phil.
Damn you, Phil. So like I said, there's interviews with The Verge, with VGC, and obviously the business update, which is on YouTube or podcast services, which you can go and listen to, and you can hear and see for yourself what's going on. That's about it, really. The only other news story I had in the docket here was Immortals of Avium is £1 as the right now. If you go,
how much did that break your heart?
To be honest, I'm tempted to go and buy a PS5 version of it just so I've got a disc copy of it because I thought it was a fucking tremendous game. Pete, did you play Immortals of Avium?
I did not.
There's a demo available. I'd highly recommend checking it out. Fucking great game.
Gas on the
but they're trying to get rid of their stock basically. So next time I'm in Asda, if they've still got a copy on the PS5,
I'm pretty sure it will be sold out by now.
I would imagine so, yeah. But for a pound, a game that it took me 30 hours to get through.
Nintendo and HMV had a massive stock clearance, and I think I got like 5 copies of Dishonored Complete Rare Edition for like £1 each. You know, it was like these were like £70-80 like retail, and I got them for like £1 each. You know, so I think I paid about 20 quid for about 25 games in the end.
Nice.
So yeah, when companies do that just to get rid of their stock, it's like a fire sale, but they never last for long.
I can take advantage of it while you can. Right, gentlemen, we've been going for way longer than we were supposed to be going this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the Baldur's Gate chat. I hope you've enjoyed us telling everybody to shut the fuck up and just play some video games regarding the rumor and speculation and then subsequent confirmation of literally nothing happening to the Xbox platform. Anyone else got anything else to add before we wrap up here?
Actually, yeah. What are your thoughts on
if you
Ubisoft?
say Football Manager, I'm going to fucking...
No. Genuine question.
What is your thoughts on inverted wingbacks, Stu?
No, inverted fullbacks. That's the new one.
Do you agree with defensive wingers?
Oh, fuck no. What do you make of Ubisoft almost kind of inventing the quadruple A video games?
I've seen this.
I cringed so hard.
Quadruple A water physics.
Fucking quadruple A boating it.
Like, twice in a week, they pissed me off. They've invented the quadruple A, thinking, live service is the future. No, it's not.
Nope.
And then I think the previous week, they said people need to get used to even though you pay £70 for a game, you need to get used to not owning it.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk over the last couple of years about preserving physical games. It's not even preserving physical games anymore. It's just preserving video games entirely. You know, my kid George was deeply upset that he could no longer play Microsoft Story mode because they've delisted it all off the store. You can download and install episode 1, but you cannot play or install episodes 2 to 5 because they've just deleted it. So it's not even about preserving physical copies now; it's just preserving video games in general and getting out of this live service bullshit.
Our friend Ryan Brown over at Limited Run Games is that now? I forget. I don't want to get the wrong one. I think it's a limited.
Oh yes, Ryan. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, he's big on preservation and he does a lot of good work with that sort of stuff. But again, that's sort of what Phil was getting at. Like he's gonna have your library accessible for a long time, at least via PC as well as Xbox.
But this is the thing. Phil can't control Ubisoft or EA turning servers off and denying you from playing the game.
I mean, Spec Ops: The Line vanished from existence a few weeks ago because of reasons,
and that's regarded as one of the best games story-wise of all time, right?
That is definitely one of my top 20 games of all time.
And now people that are growing up video games now will never be able to play it.
Yes, it's a tremendous game, but I mean, I don't want to spend any time really on.
Yeah, sorry, I could have been
Skull and Bones. Did anybody try the beta of Skull and Bones? I know it's out now, but
as soon as it says as soon as I heard live service, I went limp. So no.
I played the opening tutorial, and I've got a very quick review for you. Fucking shit. And
I saw a comparison online where, like, the shipboarding, where it was the clip they showed 2 years ago to what the reality is now. It's like really different, and they've just scaled everything back to what they promised. Yeah, it was just tedious, the beta I played, and I haven't seen very many reviews come out at all, but I don't think the ones I've seen have been particularly positive. But that's by the by, we can move on from there. Yeah, sorry.
Because fuck it, fuck boats, fuck
Quadruple
water,
A, woo!
and fuck quadruple A. Let's get it in the bin, right, gentlemen. We're dragging on for a long time. We've still got some After Dark to do really quickly, so let's wrap this bad boy up, shall we? Thank you very much for listening. If you made it this far, you're a fucking hero. We love you. Check us out everywhere that Ross said earlier on. We've got some games coming to Game Pass, I believe. Ross, have you got the list in front of you?
We have. I've just got the ones that are for the rest of this month. So we've got Return to Grace coming to console, PC, and cloud. These are all on. So these first two are February 20th. We've got Tales of Arise, which Ian or Gray played.
Graham.
Gray played.
So
he was super high up.
I have been so close to buying it, and now I'm so happy it's coming to Game Pass now. I'm so glad I held off.
February 20th, that's coming, and on February 22nd, we've got Inclinati on console, PC, and cloud.
Nice. And special guest Pete, I know I'm dropping this on you. Do you happen to have the list in front of you?
Yeah, well, it hasn't updated, so it's already left. The Echo of Star Song or
That's
Opus. So the list hasn't been updated, so just that's already gone. There's no updated list of what is leaving next.
Yeah, so basically all he said is no games are ever going to leave Game Pass again. That was part of the update, I think he said.
Yeah.
Part of the business update.
Go watch it, don't believe us.
Yeah. So that'll do there. Graham was going to give us his top picks of his football rundown this week, but obviously he's not here, so you can't do that. So let's go home.
I can give you my top 5 signings in FM if you want.
No, let's move on. Right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me.
There's a glitch, Jamie. There's a
glitch, Jay. Did you not know about this glitch? You can say anybody.
Do you know? I did not know, and I'm not entirely sure I care, but
You should.
well, you can tell me all about it after we finish here. But for now, I've been Jamie. You can find me at ENXHand on Twitter /Xbox, everywhere you want to find me. You can find Ross.
At Scottish Gruff.
And Pete.
At Peter Caninch.
Nice. Go find us. Go join us. Go play some video games and enjoy yourselves. Remember, #BeNice.
Be nice, you cunts.
And we will see you next week at 8 p.m.
Hey!
Toodle pip.